What if I told you that some of the most powerful protein sources on Earth aren't in the meat aisle, the supplement store, or even the health food section? They're growing in fields, floating on ponds, and sprouting in gardens all over the world. Plants that ancient civilizations built empires on, that sustained warriors, monks, and entire populations without a single piece of meat. And here's what nobody talks about. God didn't put protein in factories. He scattered it across his garden. Most people don't know this, but while we're all arguing about chicken versus beef and spending a fortune on protein powder, there are plants out there that pack more protein per gram than most meats. Plants with amino acid profiles that rival eggs. And today, I'm going to show you 20 of them that will change the way you think about protein. I'll be honest about what works and what to watch out for. Stick around, because number 17 on this list was the sacred food of the Incas. So sacred that the emperor himself planted the first seeds each season with a golden spade. And it contains all 9 essential amino acids. Number 20. So protein dense that a single cup has more protein than a steak. We're ranking from impressive to absolutely incredible. Make sure you hit that subscribe button because we post new videos every week. That'll save you money, empower you to take charge of your nutrition, and help you grow food that actually feeds you. So, let's get into it. Before we start, I need to be honest with you. Many videos throw protein percentages around without telling you the full story. Dry weight numbers can be misleading. A plant can say 30% protein, but if your body only absorbs half of that, what's the point? Throughout this list, I'll give you real absorption scores based on WHO and FAO data, because what matters isn't what's in the plant. It's what your body actually uses. Here are 20 superfood plants with more protein than meat, ranked from impressive to absolutely incredible. Number 1. Duckweed, the pond's protein factory. Let's start with something most people have never even considered eating. Those tiny green plants that float on the surface of ponds and slow-moving water. Turns out, they're not just pond scum. They're one of the most protein-dense foods on the planet. Lemna species contain up to 40 to 45% protein by dry weight. That's higher than most meats, which typically range from 20 to 30%. Absorption score? High. Complete amino acid profile that your cells actually recognize and put to work. NASA has studied duckweed as a potential food source for space missions because it grows incredibly fast, needs minimal resources, and delivers massive nutrition. Duckweed contains all 9 essential amino acids, making it a complete protein. It's been eaten in Southeast Asia for centuries, particularly in Thailand and Laos, where it's used in soups and salads. You can harvest it from clean water sources or grow it yourself in controlled conditions. Blend it into smoothies, dry it into powder, or cook it like spinach. Think of it as the protein factory that literally doubles its biomass every 2 days, just waiting for someone to recognize its potential. Number 2. Lupin, the Mediterranean protein. Lupin beans might be the most underrated legume on Earth. Cultivated around the Mediterranean for over 3,000 years. Ancient Romans ate them, Egyptian pharaohs valued them, and modern nutritionists are finally catching up. Lupin beans contain approximately 36 to 40% protein by dry weight. That's comparable to soybeans and significantly higher than most meats. Absorption score? High. Excellent amino acid balance. Studies show lupin protein has cholesterol-lowering effects and helps with satiety and weight management. In Europe, especially Mediterranean countries, lupin beans are commonly sold as snacks, brined and eaten like edamame. The flour is increasingly used in protein-enriched breads and pasta. Now, here's something I have to be straight with you about. Raw lupins contain toxic alkaloids, and I mean toxic. Always soak and boil them thoroughly. This is not optional. If you skip this step, you will get sick. Once properly prepared, they have a mild, slightly nutty flavor. For anyone with soy allergies or looking for protein diversity, lupin offers an ancient alternative that's been feeding Mediterranean populations for millennia. Number 3. Alfalfa, the father of all foods. The name says it all. Alfalfa comes from Arabic, meaning father of all foods. Medicago sativa has been cultivated for over 2,000 years. Alfalfa leaves contain about 35 to 40% protein by dry weight. The sprouts contain about 4 to 5 grams of protein per 100 grams fresh weight. Absorption score? Moderate. Good protein, but your body doesn't extract it quite as efficiently as some legumes. Still, the mineral content more than makes up for it. What makes alfalfa special? It's one of the few plants that can access deep soil nutrients, with roots that extend 10 to 20 feet down, pulling up minerals that shallow-rooted plants can't reach. Rich in vitamins K and C, calcium, potassium, and iron. You can grow alfalfa sprouts easily at home, in a jar, ready to harvest in just 3 to 5 days. The fresh sprouts are crisp, mild, and perfect for sandwiches and salads. Dried leaf can be made into tea or powdered and added to smoothies. Think of it as the protein source that literally reaches deeper than any other plant to bring you nutrition. Number 4. Moringa, the miracle tree. Moringa oleifera has been called the miracle tree for good reason. Every part of this fast-growing tropical tree is useful, and the leaves are among the most nutrient-dense foods on Earth. Dried moringa leaves contain approximately 25 to 30% protein, with all 9 essential amino acids. Absorption score? High. Complete protein, highly bioavailable. But protein is just the beginning. Gram for gram, dried moringa leaves have more calcium than milk, more vitamin C than oranges, and more potassium than bananas. The tree grows rapidly in tropical climates, producing edible leaves, pods, seeds, and even roots. Research confirms anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties. You can harvest young moringa leaves and use them like spinach, cooked in soups, curries, or stir-fries. The taste is mildly peppery, similar to watercress. Dried leaf powder can be added to smoothies or used as a nutritional supplement. The young seed pods, called drumsticks, are eaten as vegetables in South Asian cuisine. Think of it as the tree that doesn't just feed you, it nourishes you from the roots up. Number 5. Mung bean, the ancient sprout. Mung beans have been cultivated in India for over 4,000 years and have spread throughout Asia as one of the most versatile and easily digested legumes. Dried mung beans contain about 24% protein, and that protein is highly bioavailable. Absorption score: high. One of the easiest plant proteins for your digestive system to process. What makes mung beans special? They produce less of the gas and bloating that beans are infamous for. Sprouted mung beans are even more remarkable. The sprouting process increases vitamin C dramatically and makes the protein even more digestible. Traditional preparation includes cooking whole beans in curries, soups, and dal. In Chinese cuisine, the sprouts are stir-fried or used fresh in spring rolls and salads. You can easily sprout mung beans at home in 3 to 5 days. Think of them as the bean that's been perfected over millennia to be both nourishing and easy to digest. Number 6. Fava bean, the Mediterranean strength builder. Fava beans have a history that goes back to the Bronze Age, a staple food in the ancient Mediterranean and Middle East, valued by everyone, from Egyptian laborers building pyramids to Roman gladiators building strength. Dried fava beans contain about 26% protein with a good amino acid profile. Absorption score: high. They're also high in fiber, folate, and manganese. Research shows fava beans support cardiovascular health and help regulate blood sugar. The beans grow on plants that fix nitrogen, improving soil for future crops. Young fava beans can be eaten fresh, either raw or lightly cooked. Mature dried beans are soaked and cooked into stews, purees, and the famous Middle Eastern dishful medams, a hearty breakfast staple for thousands of years. One important note: some people of Mediterranean descent have G6PD deficiency that makes them sensitive to fava beans. But for the vast majority, favas are perfectly safe and incredibly nutritious. Think of them as the strength-building bean that's been fueling hard work for thousands of years. Number 7. Amaranth, the Aztec superfood. Amaranth was so important to the Aztec Empire that it was used in religious ceremonies and given as tribute to the emperor. And then the Spanish conquistadors banned it, not because it was dangerous, not because it was poisonous. They banned it because they feared a food that made empires strong. They burned the fields, destroyed the seeds, made it a crime to grow. What big agriculture fears today, God provided thousands of years ago. Amaranth grain contains about 14 to 18% protein. But what makes it special is the quality. It contains lysine, an amino acid that's often limited in other grains, giving it a more complete amino acid profile. Absorption score: high, comparable to milk protein in quality. The grain is also rich in iron, magnesium, phosphorus, and manganese, and the leaves are edible too, containing about 3 to 4 grams of protein per 100 grams fresh weight. You can cook the tiny seeds like rice or quinoa, pop them like miniature popcorn, or grind them into flour. In traditional Mexican cuisine, popped amaranth is mixed with honey to make a candy called alegría, which means joy. Amaranth survived the colonial ban because indigenous people continued growing it in secret. Think of it as the ancient superfood that refused to be forgotten. Number 8. Flaxseed, the omega-3 powerhouse. Flaxseed has been cultivated for over 6,000 years, making it one of the world's oldest crops. Ancient Greeks, Egyptians, and Romans all valued flax for its health benefits. Flaxseed contains about 18 to 20% protein. Absorption score: moderate. But here's the catch: Whole flax seeds pass through your digestive system intact. You need to grind them first. Ground flaxseed. That's where the magic happens. What makes flaxseed remarkable is the combination of protein, omega-3 fatty acids, and lignans, plant compounds with powerful antioxidant properties. Flaxseed is the richest plant source of alpha-linolenic acid, an essential omega-3 fatty acid. Research shows regular consumption supports heart health and reduces inflammation. Ground flaxseed can be stored in the refrigerator to preserve freshness. Add it to smoothies, oatmeal, yogurt, or baked goods. 1 tablespoon mixed with 3 tablespoons of water creates a gel that replaces 1 egg in vegan baking. Think of it as the ancient crop that modern nutrition science keeps validating 6,000 years later. Number 9. Sesame, the ancient oil seed. Sesame is one of the oldest oilseed crops known to humanity. Cultivated for at least 3,500 years, it appears in ancient Assyrian mythology and was valued across Africa, Asia, and the Middle East. Sesame seeds contain about 20% protein. They're particularly rich in methionine, an amino acid that's often limited in legumes. Absorption score? Moderate. The real power is in the mineral density. What makes sesame special is the combination of protein and beneficial fats. The seeds contain sesamin and sesamolin, lignans with antioxidant properties. Research suggests sesame consumption supports bone health due to high calcium content. Here's something most people don't know. Sesame provides more calcium per serving than the milk. For anyone avoiding dairy who needs calcium, this tiny seed is your answer. Sesame seeds come in various colors: white, black, brown, and red. Traditional uses include tahini, halva, and as a topping for breads. In East Asian cuisine, sesame oil is a crucial flavoring. Toast them to enhance their nutty flavor, blend into tahini, or sprinkle on salads and stir-fries. Number 10. Tepary beans, the desert survivor. This is the plant that makes you question everything you've been told about farming. Tepary beans have been cultivated by Native American peoples in the Sonoran Desert for over 4,000 years. They thrive in conditions that would kill most crops: extreme heat, minimal water, poor soil. While big agriculture pushes water-hungry crops that drain aquifers, this bean thrives on almost nothing, exactly as it was designed to. Tepary beans contain about 23% protein with an excellent amino acid profile. Absorption score high. They can produce a harvest with just 1 or 2 rainfalls per season. The Tohono O'odham people have been growing them for millennia in one of the harshest environments in North America. The beans come in white, brown, and black varieties, with a slightly sweet, nutty flavor. Cook them like any dried bean. They work beautifully in soups, stews, and as a side dish. Tepary beans nearly disappeared when industrial agriculture pushed uniform crops, but Native American seed keepers preserved them, and now they're being rediscovered as climate-smart agriculture. Number 11. Hemp seed, the comeback crop. Hemp has one of the most unjust histories of any food crop on Earth. George Washington grew it. Thomas Jefferson grew it. It was so important that some colonies required farmers to grow hemp. Then Prohibition came, and one plant, wrongly accused, wrongly convicted, was banned for decades. Its crime? Sharing a family with marijuana. While big chemicals sold synthetic alternatives at premium prices, this complete protein sat in jail. Hemp seeds contain about 31% protein, with all 9 essential amino acids. In a ratio considered ideal for human nutrition, 3 tablespoons provide about 10 grams of complete protein. Absorption score: high. Hemp contains edestan and albumin, proteins that are among the easiest for your body to digest. The seeds are also rich in omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids in a beneficial ratio, plus magnesium, iron, and zinc. Hemp seeds have a mild, nutty flavor. Eat them raw, toasted, or as hemp hearts. Blend into smoothies, sprinkle onto salads, or grind into hemp protein powder. Hemp cultivation is finally legal again. Think of it as the protein source that literally had to fight for the right to feed you. If ancient civilizations fought wars over these plants, if governments banned them, if big agriculture tried to erase them, don't you think it's worth hitting subscribe to learn what else they knew? We're building a community of people who refuse to let this knowledge stay buried. Hit that like button, ring that bell, and let's keep going, because we're just getting to the truly incredible ones. Number 12. Lentils, the ancient staple. Lentils are one of humanity's oldest cultivated crops, with archaeological evidence going back 13,000 years. Before pyramids, before writing, before civilization as we know it, people were eating lentils. Lentils contain about 25 to 26% protein when dried. 1 cooked cup provides about 18 grams of protein. Absorption score: high. Excellent bioavailability, extraordinarily high in fiber, folate, iron, and manganese. What makes lentils special is how quickly they cook compared to other dried legumes. Most varieties are ready in 20 to 30 minutes, without pre-soaking. Studies show regular lentil consumption supports heart health, helps regulate blood sugar, and promotes digestive health. Lentils come in many varieties: brown, green, red, black, yellow, each with slightly different flavors. Red lentils cook down into a creamy puree, perfect for Indian dal. Green and brown hold their shape better, ideal for salads. Traditional preparations span the globe: Indian dal, Middle Eastern mujadara, Ethiopian mesir wat, French lentil soup. Think of it as the ancient answer that's still feeding billions, because nothing better has come along in 13,000 years. Number 13. Chickpeas, the versatile powerhouse. Chickpeas have been cultivated for at least 7,500 years. Today, they're a cornerstone of Mediterranean, Middle Eastern, and Indian cuisine. Dried chickpeas contain about 20% protein. 1 cooked cup provides about 15 grams. They're also high in fiber, folate, iron, and manganese. Absorption score: moderate high. And when you pair them with grains, you get a complete amino acid profile. What makes chickpeas remarkable is their versatility. They can be cooked whole, mashed, ground into flour, or roasted as a crunchy snack. And here's something wild. The liquid from canned chickpeas, called aquafaba, can be whipped like egg whites for vegan meringues. Traditional uses include hummus, falafel, chana masala, and chickpea flour flatbreads like saka. Every culture that adopted chickpeas created signature dishes because the beans are so adaptable. Chickpea flour, called besan, is used in batters, flatbreads, and even as an egg substitute. Think of it as the ancient bean that's having a well-deserved modern moment. Number 14. Black beans, the Americas' gift. Black beans are native to the Americas, where they've been cultivated for over 7,000 years. They have a special place in Latin American cuisine and nutrition. Dried black beans contain about 21 to 22% protein. One cooked cup provides about 15 grams. Absorption score high. They're exceptionally high in fiber, folate, manganese, and antioxidants. In fact, black beans have among the highest antioxidant levels of any bean, particularly anthocyanins in their dark skin, the same compounds that make blueberries famous. The combination of protein, fiber, and slow-digesting carbohydrates makes them excellent for sustained energy. Traditional preparation in Latin America includes cooking with onions, garlic, cumin, and bay leaves. They're served as a side dish, mashed and refried in soups, or as the main component of rice and beans. A combination that creates a complete protein. Think of it as the new world gift that deserves as much recognition as any superfood trending on social media. Number 15. Pumpkin seeds, the autumn superfood. While we've all carved jack-o'-lanterns, many people throw away one of the most nutritious parts. Pumpkin seeds are nutritional gems. Pumpkin seeds contain about 30% protein. A quarter cup provides about 9 grams. Absorption score high. Plus, they're remarkably high in magnesium, zinc, iron, and healthy fats. Research shows pumpkin seed consumption supports prostate health, provides anti-inflammatory benefits, and the high zinc content supports immune function. In Mexican cuisine, ground pumpkin seeds form the base of pipián, a rich green sauce that's been made for centuries. You can save and roast seeds from fresh pumpkins or buy pre-shelled seeds, pepitas, from stores. Roasted pumpkin seeds make excellent snacks, can be added to granola and trail mix, sprinkled on salads, or blended into pesto and sauces. Think of it as the autumn superfood that's been hiding inside the decoration, waiting for you to stop throwing it away. Number 16. Nettles, God's free protein factory. 218 of you asked for this one, and I can see why. Most people see stinging nettle as a weed, something to avoid. But here's what Big Food doesn't want you to know. Dried nettle leaves contain 25 to 30% protein by dry weight. 30%. Growing free. In your backyard, in ditches, along fences, everywhere. Absorption score high. Complete amino acid profile highly bioavailable. Nettle is also extraordinarily rich in iron, calcium, magnesium, and vitamins A and C. Traditional herbalists called it the Great Nourisher. Modern research confirms anti-inflammatory and antihistamine properties. Here's the beautiful irony. While Big Food charges $50 for a tub of protein powder, this plant is growing free outside your door. You just need gloves to harvest it and a quick blanch or dry to neutralize the sting. Young nettle tops, harvested in spring, are the most tender and nutritious. Steam them like spinach, make nettle soup, dry them for tea, or powder them for smoothies. The taste is mild, earthy, similar to spinach but richer. Sometimes, God's best gifts are the ones the system taught you to ignore, growing right where you can reach them, costing nothing, feeding everything. Number 17. Quinoa, the sacred food of the Incas. And here we are, at the one I teased at the very beginning. Quinoa was so sacred to the Inca Empire that the emperor himself would plant the first quinoa seeds each season using a golden spade. It sustained entire civilizations in the high Andes for over 5,000 years. Then colonizers replaced it with wheat and barley. The same pattern: erase the ancient, replace it with the profitable. But quinoa survived. Quinoa contains about 14 to 16% protein. One cooked cup provides about 8 grams. But here's what makes quinoa extraordinary. It contains all 9 essential amino acids in balanced proportions, making it one of the few plant foods that's a complete protein. Absorption score: high. It's particularly high in lysine, an amino acid that's limited in most grains. Quinoa is also rich in magnesium, iron, zinc, and B vitamins. Naturally gluten-free. Cooks quickly compared to many whole grains. The grain comes in white, red, and black varieties. White is mildest and fluffiest. Red and black hold their shape better with a nuttier flavor. Always rinse quinoa thoroughly before cooking. The seeds are coated with saponins, bitter compounds that protect them from birds. Think of it as the sacred grain that's reclaiming its throne, because 5,000 years of wisdom doesn't just disappear. Number 18. Peas. The humble garden hero. Garden peas and their protein-rich cousins have been cultivated for at least 10,000 years. Split peas became a staple food throughout Europe, particularly during winter, when fresh vegetables were scarce. Dried yellow split peas contain about 25% protein. One cooked cup provides about 16 grams. Absorption score: high. One of the most easily digestible legume proteins available. What makes peas remarkable is exactly that: digestibility. Split pea soup has been comfort food for centuries because it's gentle on the stomach while being filling and nutritious. Pea protein isolate has become one of the most popular plant-based protein powders because it's hypoallergenic, easily digestible, and has a relatively neutral flavor. Many plant-based meat alternatives use pea protein as a base. Cook split peas without soaking in about 45 minutes. Think of it as the humble garden hero that's been feeding us reliably for 10,000 years, never asking for credit. Number 19. Chia seeds. The Aztec running fuel. The word chia literally means strength in Mayan. And when you learn what Aztec messengers did with these tiny seeds, you'll understand why. Aztec warriors and long-distance runners fueled themselves on chia and water, running hundreds of miles on this combination alone. Chia was so valued that it was given as tribute to Aztec rulers and considered essential military rations. Chia seeds contain about 17% protein, and it's a complete protein with all 9 essential amino acids. Absorption score: moderate high. Chia absorbs up to 12 times its weight in water, forming a gel that slows digestion and helps your body extract maximum nutrition. Beyond protein, chia seeds are exceptionally rich in omega-3 fatty acids, fiber, calcium, and antioxidants. 2 tablespoons provide about 4 grams of protein, 11 grams of fiber, and more omega-3s than most fish oil supplements. You can eat chia seeds raw, soaked in liquid for chia pudding, mixed into smoothies, or used as an egg substitute. 1 tablespoon mixed with 3 tablespoons of water replaces 1 egg in baking. Think of it as the Aztec warriors' secret fuel, tiny seeds that carried empires on their backs. Number 20. Soybeans. The Asian protein king. And here we are at number 20. The one I saved for last because it represents the peak of plant protein. Soybeans have been cultivated in East Asia for over 5,000 years. So important to Chinese civilization that it was one of the 5 sacred grains. Dried soybeans contain about 36 to 40% protein by dry weight, making them the highest protein legume on Earth. 1 cup of cooked soybeans provides about 29 grams of complete protein with all 9 essential amino acids. 29 grams. That's more than the same amount of ground beef, which typically provides about 26 grams. Absorption score, high, among the highest of any plant protein studied. Soybeans are also rich in iron, calcium, B vitamins, and isoflavones. Traditional Asian preparation methods include tofu, tempeh, miso, soy sauce, edamame, and soy milk. 5,000 years of culinary refinement in a single crop. Now, there's a world of difference between Roundup-sprayed GMO soy, the kind that fills processed junk food, and heritage organic soybeans, the kind that sustained civilizations. Choose heritage. Choose organic. Choose what God intended, not what corporations engineered for shelf life. Think of it as the protein king that's been wearing the crown for 5,000 years, just waiting for the rest of the world to recognize its reign. 20 plants, 20 sources of protein that most people have never even considered. Amaranth, banned by conquistadors who feared its power. Hemp, criminalized for sharing a name with the wrong plant. Tepary beans, nearly erased when industrial farming pushed uniform crops. Nettles, dismissed as a weed while Big Food charged $50 for what was growing free in your backyard. But they survived. Every single one of them survived. Because ancient wisdom doesn't disappear. It waits. We talked about bioavailability. Some scored high, some scored moderate. And I told you the truth about every single one. Because you deserve informed decisions, not clickbait promises. You don't need a factory. You don't need a corporation. You don't need permission from anyone to feed yourself and your family the highest quality protein nature has ever created. You need a garden. You need seeds. And you need the courage to grow what they told you was impossible. God's pharmacy has been open for thousands of years. It was never closed. You just weren't told the address. So tell me, are you team ancient grains, team legumes, or team wild plants? Drop your team in the comments. I read every single one. And if this video opened your eyes to even one plant you didn't know about, hit that like button. It genuinely helps more people discover that they don't have to be dependent on a system that was never designed to feed them. Hit subscribe and ring that bell, because next time we're going even deeper into God's garden. Every seed you plant is a vote against the system. Every sprout you grow is an act of freedom. Keep growing, keep learning. I'll see you in the next one.